Guys, continuing on with the coaching hires, Carolina, as reported a lot last week elsewhere, and I guess I was saying it, but other people were too. So, but Dave Canales is the guy now there, and I don't think a lot of people wanted this job. I think it has less to do with Bryce Young, but the ownership, public reputation of David Tepper is not too good. I mean, spilling drinks on fans. Apparently, Frank Reich wasn't given a lot of freedom in terms of the draft process, but you never know. Frank Reich could all be BSing and saying that he wanted C.J. Stroud because Stroud had a better season than Bryce Young. So no one's ever going to get to the honest truth about that. It's convenient for Reich to put that out there. But really, Tepper has been known to be temperamental. Matt Rule, he said he'd give Matt Rule time. He didn't really. So now Dave Canales is going to take over. Dave Canales, I like several parts about him. He took a guy in Baker Mayfield that was really struggling with Carolina and also with the Rams, and he got this offense rolling. Again, you go from Arians, Leftwich to now Dave Canales, and you have to replace Tom Brady. And I know that you have Mike Evans and Godwin and championship players and Rashad White. So I know that you have some talent and Cade Otton, but he got the most out of the talent. He got the most out of the receivers and got the most out of Baker. He was convicted on Baker, so he did call a great offense. He got really good quarterback play. Now, he's only been calling plays for 1 year. He was a quarterback coach with Geno Smith, so he really does positively impact quarterback. And again, quarterback is the most important position in the NFL. In college, you can win easier without the most elite of elite quarterbacks because you can build your roster. But in the NFL, every roster is going to be pretty decent. So if you have better defensive ends, D tackles, corners, it'll help. But most of the time the margins are tight, so they're going to come down the quarterbacks that can, win in the, 2-minute drill and so on and so forth. So Canales, for that regard's good. He has positive energy. Looks like somebody that's a hard worker and somebody that seems fun, to be around. And these are all important traits. Somebody that's well liked by the players, trusted by the players, and somebody that's earned his stripes. I mean, he was an assistant strength coach with Pete Carroll back at USC. So he was a strength coach. He was a wide receiver in college. And then he was a wide receivers coach with Doug Baldwin on those championship teams with Pete Carroll. So he's seen what it's like to build a team. So the more you think about it, the more you like it. I mean, the guy sold cowboy boots in California. He's had to come the hard route. And again, he looks like he's 35 or 33, but he's 42. All right. So it's Dave Canales. Honestly, if this thing's going to work, Tepper's going to have to be really patient, which is kind of unlike what Tepper has shown so far. You got a very, very young coach. You got to hire, really good defensive coordinators around you, really good position coaches. You'll probably call the plays, but you got to have very functional. Your staff has to be really good if you're Canales. Odds are it's probably going to fail. I mean, let's be honest, because how many years is Tepper going to give Canales? You're going to have to you don't have a first-round pick. You need to draft better wide receivers. You need to get the offensive line right. Defensively, there are holes on this team. It takes about 3 or 4 years for you, and then by that time, Bryce is going to have to be paid, and you're not even sure how great Bryce is going to be right now because he didn't have the best rookie year. But I mean, still, Bryce Young is still accurate enough. He's still mobile, great leader, smart, can throw for anticipation. I think Bryce can honestly be fine in the NFL. Fine. I don't know about the ceiling, but can he be Tua? Maybe. You put good weapons around him, he could work. I don't think a lot of people wanted this job. Like Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald, Bobby Slowick. These are guys that are in the catbird seats of their coordinatorship, and they're going to be picky about their jobs that they're being offered. I think Mike McDonald's actually doing that right now. It's interesting because I think McDonald really likes Baltimore, and I don't think that he's going to be leaving anywhere. But Ben Johnson probably going to Washington, and then the other option. So I don't think that the Carolina had a lot of options, but I mean, honestly, there are weaknesses here. He doesn't have a whole lot of experience. You're hiring a very young guy. Again, experience can really help, and he's kind of inexperienced. He had one good year with a championship-level wide receiver room. So you're hiring the hot name off of 1 year, and that's why it can fail. Does he know how to run an organization, be around an organization? Dan Morgan's really young also. So it's a lot of young. And again, it's risky because he hasn't been around. I mean, I guess every hire is kind of risky, but it can really work. I mean, we look at Zach Taylor, didn't have like a ton of experience either. Kevin O'Connell had like a couple of years of play calling. I think Canales is fine. I don't know if his offense is incredibly like really, really complex, but in a way, like the quarterback plays fast. And I think he did well with Mayfield. So it's one of 32 jobs, and Canales got it. I mean, with Baker, they maybe could have had another good run, but he probably looks at that division. I'm giving it like a B-, honestly, higher, because a lot of accentuating circumstances, the odds of it working are very, very rare, but Canales has been somebody that's been on championship staffs as a wide receiver coach. He's very personable, and he ran a really good offense. A lot of it was play action pass. There were inconsistencies along the way, but Baker Mayfield panned out for him. So he understands taking care of the football. He was schooled under Pete Carroll, so he's not an awful candidate. He can light up a room. The players could enjoy playing for him, but he's going to have to find success, so that message is going to get old pretty quick. And I'm not really sure that he's a builder, and I'm not sure he can take you from literal like nothingness to having a great team. There's other guys in the cycle that ironically would have been just like even a Raheem Morris could probably build you a team. Canales would have been a finishing touch kind of guy. I don't know if he can build defense. There's so many question marks about it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm kind of giving it a B-. I think it's a very tough job, and you're going to need to be patient with Dave Canales.